It was a dark, rainy night. The streets were almost empty. Most people were inside their homes, safe and warm. But one boy, no older than 20, was running. His clothes were soaked. His face showed fear. His name was Rafik. He looked back again and again as if someone was chasing him. He ran across the road without looking. The black luxury car came speeding around the corner, too fast for such a rainy night. The car hit Rafik hard. His body flew a few feet and landed on the cold, wet road. The car didn't stop. It kept going, disappearing into the dark. There was no one around, no one to call for help. But someone was watching. From a window on the third floor of a nearby building, an old man had seen it all. He grabbed his phone and recorded the last seconds of the crash. The video was shaky, but the car's number plate was clear. The man uploaded the video online, not knowing it would soon go viral. The next morning, the video was everywhere. News channels played it on repeat. "Young man hit by luxury car," one headline said. Another read, "Hit and run shocks the city, driver unknown." But there was one big problem. No one knew who the boy was. At City General Hospital, Rafik lay in a hospital bed, still unconscious. His head was bandaged. He had cuts and bruises all over his body. He had no phone, no wallet, and no ID card. Nurse Maria, a kind woman in her 30s, looked at him with worry. She had seen many patients, but this boy felt different. There was something about him, something that made her heart hurt. "Who are you?" she whispered, brushing hair from his forehead. Doctors said he might not wake up for days, or even weeks. Maria decided to do something. She took a small picture of Rafik's face and posted it online. "Does anyone know this young man? He was in a hit-and-run accident. Please help us find his family." Thousands saw the post. People started commenting, sharing, and guessing. But no one came forward. By the afternoon, something strange happened. The original video of the accident was deleted from most platforms. Even the news channels stopped talking about it. People asked why, but no one answered. Comments started disappearing. Some accounts were even banned. Maria noticed it too. She asked her coworker, "Why would they remove a video like that?" Her friend replied, "Maybe someone important is involved." Maria felt a chill down her spine. She went to the hospital security office to ask if anyone had come to visit the boy. The guard hesitated, then said, "A man in a suit came this morning. He didn't leave a name. He just looked at the boy from the door and left." Maria knew something was wrong. That night, after her shift, Maria walked home carefully. She felt like someone was watching her. She kept looking over her shoulder. At one point, a black car slowed down near her, but then it drove away. She reached home safely, but her heart was racing. She sat on her bed and opened her phone. She looked at Rafik's photo again. "Why would someone want to hurt you?" she whispered. "What were you running from?" Her phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. It said, "Stop asking questions. This is not your business." Maria froze. Her hands shook. How did they get her number? The next morning, she went back to the hospital. Rafik was still unconscious. A tear slipped from her eye as she looked at him. "Don't worry," she whispered. "I'll find out who you are. I promise." What Maria didn't know was that the truth about Rafik's past would shake the entire city. And the hit and run was just the beginning. Rafik still lay in the hospital bed, silent and still. Machines beeped slowly beside him. His face was pale. His eyes were closed. Nobody had come to visit him. Not a single person claimed him. Nurse Maria sat beside him during her break, her hands gently folding his blanket. She looked at the young boy's face with concern. "Where is your family?" she whispered. "Why has no one come for you?" Maria couldn't sleep the night before. She kept thinking about the message on her phone. "Stop asking questions. This is not your business." She didn't tell anyone at work, not even her best friend, Nurse Fatima. But deep inside, Maria knew one thing. This wasn't just an accident. Something bigger was going on. Something someone was trying to hide. Later that day, Maria checked the comments on the photo she had posted online. Most people didn't recognize the boy, but one comment caught her eye. It said, "I think I know him, but I can't say anything here. Meet me behind the old bookshop tonight at 9 p.m. The account had no name, no profile picture. Maria wasn't sure what to do. Was it a trap, or was it the clue she had been waiting for? That night, Maria went to the old bookshop. The area was quiet, almost empty. A streetlight blinked above her. She waited, her heart beating fast. After a few minutes, a woman appeared from the shadows. She looked scared. Her scarf was pulled low to hide her face. "Are you the nurse?" the woman asked in a low voice. "Yes," Maria replied. "Do you know the boy in the hospital?" The woman nodded. Her hands shook. "His name is Rafik. He used to live in our neighborhood." Maria stepped closer. "Why hasn't his family come?" The woman looked around nervously. "Because they can't. They're hiding." "Hiding? Why?" "They're scared. Rafik got involved in something dangerous." "What do you mean?" The woman hesitated. Then she whispered, "He worked for a politician. He saw something he shouldn't have. They told his family to stay silent, or they would disappear." Maria's eyes widened. "Do you know where his family is now?" "They moved away. Far away. They changed their names. But they're still afraid." Maria took out her phone. "Can I record this?" "No," the woman said quickly. "Please, if anyone finds out I talk to you, I'll be in danger too. Just help him. That boy didn't deserve this." Then she walked away, disappearing into the night. Back at the hospital, Maria sat alone in the staff room, thinking about what the woman said. She remembered the deleted video, the mystery visitor, the warning message. Everything was connected. Who was the politician? What did Rafik see? She looked at Rafik's pale face once more. "Poor boy," she whispered. "You were just trying to do the right thing." The next day, Maria told her journalist friend, Faison. He had helped her before with a hospital issue. He was honest and brave. "You sure about this?" Faison asked, after hearing the full story. "Yes, but I can't prove anything yet," Maria said. Faison thought for a moment. "We'll start with the car, the one that hit him. If we can find the owner, maybe we'll know who wanted him gone." "But the video was deleted," Maria reminded him. "I saved a copy," Faison said with a smile, "before they took it down." Maria felt hope again. Together, they watched the video. It was shaky, but clear enough. The number plate of the car could be seen for a few seconds. Faison did a quick search. His eyes went wide. "This car belongs to someone close to the Minister of Development, Raza Malik." Maria gasped. "He's one of the most powerful people in the city." Faison nodded slowly. "Now it makes sense why everyone is scared. If Rafik was working with someone in his office and found out something, they'd want him gone." "But what did he know?" Maria asked. "That's what we need to find out." Later that night, Maria returned to the hospital. She looked at Rafik again. His breathing was steady, but he still hadn't woken up. She held his hand and whispered, "You're not alone anymore. We'll find the truth, no matter what." Just then, his fingers moved slightly. Maria froze. "Rafik," she said softly, "can you hear me?" His eyelids fluttered for a second, but then went still again. Maria ran to call the doctor. But deep inside, she knew Rafik was fighting to wake up, and he had a story the world needed to hear. The hospital was quiet that morning. The only sounds were the soft beeping of machines and footsteps of nurses. In room 207, Rafik still lay in a deep sleep, but there was a change. His fingers had moved the night before. Maria told the doctors. They checked everything. "He might wake up soon," the doctor said, But we must be careful. If he wakes up confused or afraid, it could make his condition worse." Maria nodded, but inside she felt a storm. So much was already happening outside the hospital. If Rafik woke up, he could bring down powerful people. But would he be safe? At a small cafe across town, Faison the journalist was doing research. He had a file in front of him. Notes, photos, newspaper articles, and more. He had found something shocking. Minister Raza Malik's name kept appearing in cases that never reached court. Land theft, money laundering, missing workers. Every time someone tried to report him, the case disappeared. Witnesses would either vanish or stop talking. And now, Rafik, a young assistant in Raza's office. The boy in the hospital wasn't just a random victim. He had worked close to Raza. He had seen files, attended private meetings, maybe even heard secrets. And now he was lying half dead in a hospital bed. Faison felt his throat tighten. He picked up his phone and called Maria. "Maria, listen to me carefully," Faison said. "We were right. Rafik worked for Raza Malik. I found proof. His name was on the list of interns last year." Maria's heart dropped. So the minister could really be behind all this. "I think Rafik found out something he shouldn't have," Faison said. "Something big." Maria looked around. She had this strange feeling again, like someone was watching her. That evening, Faison met a former employee from Raza Malik's office. Her name was Aisha. She looked nervous. She agreed to meet only in a crowded tea shop where she felt safe. "I left that job because I saw too much," she whispered. Faison leaned in. "What did you see?" They were moving large amounts of money to fake companies, changing land records, using government projects to make themselves rich. Rafik once told me he found a file, something huge. He said this could destroy Raza Malik's career. "What happened then?" Faison asked. Aisha looked around and whispered. The next day, Rafik was gone. No one saw him again. They said he resigned. But I knew something bad had happened. Faison felt chills. Rafik had tried to speak the truth, and someone had tried to silence him. Forever. Back at the hospital, Rafik's eyes fluttered open. The lights above felt too bright. His head hurt. His body ached. Maria was there. She rushed to him. "Rafik, you're awake. It's okay. You're safe." He tried to speak but couldn't. His throat was too dry. Tears formed in his eyes. "Don't worry," Maria said gently. "Take your time. You're not alone." The next morning, Faison came to visit. He introduced himself as a journalist. Maria whispered, "Be gentle. He's still weak." Faison nodded. He sat beside Rafik. "I'm here to help you. I know what happened to you was not just an accident. You were running from something, weren't you?" Rafik blinked slowly, then gave a tiny nod. "Was it Raza Malik?" Faison asked softly. Rafik closed his eyes, then opened them again. A single tear rolled down his cheek. He moved his hand slowly, pointing toward the drawer beside his bed. Maria opened it. Inside was a small folded paper, old, torn, but still readable. It was a list of names and fake company details, government contracts, bank transfers, all signed by someone named R. Malik. Maria gasped. Faison stared at the paper. This is the proof," he said. "This is what he was running with." But they didn't know. Someone else was watching from the hallway. A man in a dark coat stood near the nurse's station. He had a phone in his hand. He took a picture of the paper. Then he walked away silently. That night, Maria got another message on her phone. "You were warned. Now you'll pay the price." Faison received one too. "Back off. Or next time, it won't just be an accident." Fear spread in Maria's chest. She called Faison. "They know," she said. "They're watching us." Faison's voice was firm. "Then we release the story. Tonight. If we wait, they'll destroy the evidence. maybe even come for Rafiq again. Maria looked at the sleeping boy. She remembered his tears, his broken body, his silent fight. She took a deep breath. Let's do it. That night, Faison published the story online. He uploaded the video, the paper, the names. He wrote everything. Rafiq, the silent witness, a hit and run that was never an accident. Within minutes, it started spreading. Within hours, it went viral. But not everyone was happy. And the danger was only beginning. The city didn't sleep that night. By midnight, Faison's article had gone viral. Thousands were reading it. Social media was on fire. People were shocked. Minister Raza Malik involved in hit and run. Young man in hospital exposes powerful names. Whistleblower speaks from coma. But inside the minister's house, there was no panic, only silence. Raza Malik sat in his study, staring at his phone. His assistant entered, face pale. "Sir, the article is everywhere. It's trending." Raza smiled coldly. "Then it's time," he said. "Send them a warning they won't forget." Early the next morning, Faison's office was broken into. Papers were everywhere. His laptop was missing. Walls were sprayed with red paint. "Stop now or die." The message was clear. Faison rushed to the office when he got the call. Police were already there, but they didn't look serious. One officer smirked. Maybe it was just some kids. Faison stared at the threat on the wall. He knew better. This wasn't kids. This was power showing its teeth. At the hospital, Maria sat by Rafiq's bed. He was still weak, but he was awake. He spoke only in whispers. "They wanted me gone," he said slowly, "because I saw too much." "What did you find, Rafiq?" Maria asked gently. Rafiq looked around, fear in his eyes. "They're using poor people's land. Fake companies. Raza signs everything." He said no one would believe me, that I was just an assistant. Maria held his hand. "They believe you now." But deep down she was scared. What if they came for Rafiq again? Later that day, Maria's apartment was broken into. Her books were torn, her curtains cut. On the mirror was a message written in lipstick. "Next time, your blood." She called Faison. "They broke into my home. I'm scared." Faison replied, "They're trying to break us. That means we hit the truth." But Maria was shaking. "They know everything. Where I live, where Rafiq is. What if they come to the hospital?" Faison paused, then said, "We need to move him." That night, under the cover of darkness, Maria and Faison arranged for Rafiq to be shifted to a private clinic. It was quiet, far from the city, with only trusted staff. Rafiq didn't understand everything, but he trusted Maria now. She had saved his life twice already. At the clinic, a kind nurse named Samir took over. "He'll be safe here," he said. "No names, no records." Maria finally felt a little peace, but it didn't last. The next day, Faison received a strange envelope at his home. No stamp, no address. Inside was a photograph of him, Maria, and Rafiq, taken secretly in the hospital lobby. And a note. "We're watching. You've been warned." Faison's hands trembled. He called Maria immediately. "We have to go public, bigger than before." Maria hesitated. "Won't that make them angrier?" "Yes," Faison said, "but it'll also make it harder for them to kill us quietly." That evening, Faison went live on his YouTube channel. He showed the photograph. He read the threats out loud. Then he looked straight into the camera. "If anything happens to me, Maria, or Rafiq, you'll know who did it. Minister Raza Malik. We're not afraid of the truth anymore." People across the country watched. Comments poured in. "Expose them. We stand with you. Protect Rafiq." But not all the viewers were friendly. Inside a dark room, Raza Malik watched the video with a calm face. "Foolish boy," he said. "They think the public will save them. He turned to a man in a black coat. Make it look like a robbery. We need silence. Now. The man nodded and disappeared into the night. Meanwhile, in the clinic, Rafik was finally resting. Maria sat beside him, reading. Suddenly, the power went out. The room went dark. Maria stood up, heart pounding. Hello? Anyone there? Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Slow, heavy. Maria grabbed her phone and turned on the flashlight. The door creaked open. A shadow stood outside. Who's there? She shouted. No answer. She slammed the door shut and pushed a chair against it. Then she called Faison. Someone is here. I think they found us. I'm on my way, Faison said, already grabbing his car keys. Faison reached the clinic in 15 minutes. Police sirens followed behind him. The intruder had run away when they heard the sirens, but they had left a message scratched into the clinic's wall. You've seen Heidi forever. Rafik was shaking in fear. Maria hugged him. They're getting desperate, Faison said. Maria nodded. That means we're close to something big. They looked at Rafik. He had survived death, exposed the truth, risked everything. Now it was time to fight back. For years, Minister Raza Malik had worn the same mask, kind, generous, smiling for cameras. But behind closed doors, his hands were dirty. And now, the world was starting to see it. 3 days had passed since the attack at the clinic. Rafik was safe but frightened. Maria refused to leave his side. Faison had moved into the same building for extra protection. Outside, something strange was happening. Protests, news vans, people asking questions. Who is Raza Malik really? Why are whistleblowers being threatened? Social media exploded with the hashtag Justice for Rafik. For the first time, the minister was under pressure. Inside his mansion, Raza Malik threw a glass at the wall. They're destroying my name, he shouted. His assistant whispered, Sir, should we release a public statement? Raza's eyes burned with anger. A statement. I built this empire with blood. You think I care about their words? He picked up his phone and dialed a number. Take care of the reporter. And the girl. End it now. That same evening, Faison received an anonymous tip. A woman's voice on the phone. They're coming for you tonight. Raza Malik has sent men. Leave the city. Take the boy and the girl. Disappear. Who are you? Faison asked. I'm one of his own. I've seen too much. I can't stay silent anymore. Before he could ask more, the line went dead. Faison packed a bag, rushed to Maria, and explained everything. We're going now, he said. I don't care if we have to sleep in the car. We'll hide. Then fight. As they drove out of the city with Rafik in the back seat, Faison turned to Maria. We need proof. Something big, something the media can't ignore. Maria nodded. Rafik said he had files, emails, hidden on a USB. Rafik, half asleep, whispered, Yes, it's in my old office, behind the frame. Where's the office? Faison asked. Ministry of Urban Development. Rafik answered weakly. Faison's eyes widened. That's the heart of the beast. The next night, Faison disguised himself as a delivery man and sneaked into the ministry building. Maria stayed outside in the car, watching every shadow. Inside, Faison found the room. Rafik's old office. Dusty, abandoned, forgotten. He found the photo frame on the wall. Rafik standing beside Raza Malik, shaking hands. Behind it, taped to the wall, was a small black USB drive. Faison grabbed it and heard footsteps. 2 security guards. He ducked behind the door. The guards entered, talking. Minister says the office will be cleaned out tomorrow. Burn everything. Faison held his breath. When they left, he ran. Back in the car, Faison plugged the USB into his laptop. Maria leaned closer. The screen lit up. Emails. Contracts. hidden bank transactions, fake land deals, bribes. One email stood out. From Raza Malik to Central Construction Let. Subject: land clearance. Proceed with demolition. I'll handle the local protests. Police already paid. Also, send the usual gift to my brother's account in Dubai. Amount: $1.2 million. Maria gasped. This could destroy him. Faison nodded. Let's do it. That night, Faison uploaded everything to his website and social media. He included screenshots, voice recordings, and Rafiq's full story. The post went viral in under 1 hour. News anchors interrupted live shows. Breaking: Minister caught in land scam. Hit and run victim confirms story. USB reveals dark truth. Public demands arrest. The country was shocked. The truth had hit like a storm. But Raza Malik didn't go down quietly. He held a press conference the next morning. Wearing a neat suit and a forced smile, he faced the cameras. These are lies. Fake news. A political attack. One reporter shouted, "What about the emails, sir?" He smiled coldly. Doctored. A-generated. Another asked, "And the boy, Rafiq? He's a paid actor." Suddenly, a voice echoed from the back. "You're lying." Everyone turned. Rafiq had entered, walking slowly with Maria's help. TV cameras zoomed in. Rafiq stepped forward and faced the minister. "You left me to die. But I lived." The room went silent. That video clip spread like fire. Rafiq confronts minister. Nation watches in silence. Real hero speaks out in front of the devil himself. Raza Malik's smile vanished. He stormed off stage, but the damage was done. That evening, police cars surrounded the minister's house. The new home minister ordered an investigation. Raza tried to escape, but his private jet was grounded. His assistant was arrested first, then his driver. Finally, Raza Malik himself. He was dragged out of his mansion, handcuffed, hiding his face. News cameras captured every second. The man who once ruled with fear was now silent. In a quiet corner of the city, Faison, Maria, and Rafiq sat together. Rafiq was smiling for the first time. "Thank you," he said. Maria placed a hand on his shoulder. "You were brave." Faison nodded. "We just helped your truth fly." They looked at each other. It wasn't over. Not yet. Because Raza wasn't the only one. There were more masks to tear off. Raza Malik was arrested. The nation celebrated. But for Faison, Maria, and young Rafiq, it didn't feel like the end. It felt like the beginning of something much darker. A week had passed since the minister's arrest. Rafiq was still recovering, but his spirit was strong. Maria had returned to teaching part-time, while Faison kept digging for more truth. One morning, he got an encrypted message on his laptop. It said only 4 words. "You stopped the puppet." Faison stared at the screen. A second message followed. "But what about the puppeteer?" His heart skipped a beat. That same day, Faison met a trusted friend, Adil, a tech expert who once worked with the government. He showed him the USB. Adil went through hidden folders and deeper data logs. After 2 hours, he looked up, shocked. "Faison, this is bigger than just Raza Malik." "What do you mean?" "There are payments from foreign companies, fake IDs, and mentions of other names, high up." He turned the screen. One name caught Faison's attention. S. Rahman, Department of National Planning. Adil whispered, "He's the one who approved all major land projects and even protected Raza." Meanwhile, Maria was in the market when a woman in a hijab passed her a folded note. Maria opened it. "You are brave, but now be careful. The game has reached the kings." Later that night, Faison, Maria, and Adil sat together and made a plan. They couldn't just release more files. This time, they needed a direct voice, a confession, a crack in the wall. Someone close to S. Rahman. Adil had an idea. I used to work with one of his assistants, Mubashir. He left the department 6 months ago. Quietly. No one knows why. Can you contact him? Faison asked. I'll try. 2 days later, Mubashir agreed to meet, under one condition. No names, no phones, no recordings. They met in a crowded park during the day. Mubashir, a middle-aged man with tired eyes, spoke with fear in his voice. You think Raza was the boss. He was just the front man. Then who's behind it all? Faison asked. Mubashir looked down. There's a group, 5 men, 1 woman, all in high positions. Ministries, police, even media. They control the land, the money, the lies. We called them the Circle. Maria's eyes widened. Is Rahman part of it? Mubashir nodded slowly. He runs the meetings. Nothing moves without his approval. That night, Faison went home shaken. The Circle, they're still out there, still watching. Maria asked, do we keep fighting? Faison looked at her. We have to, but smarter this time. They started gathering everything. Adil hacked into Rahman's internal meeting logs. Mubashir secretly handed over handwritten notes. Rafiq remembered overhearing strange phone calls when he worked in the ministry. Maria found old newspaper clippings that hinted at land deals never completed. The puzzle was coming together. One thing was clear. The Circle had used public offices for private profit, and anyone who stood in the way disappeared. But they were not the only ones watching. One late night, as Faison sat in front of his laptop, a red warning flashed on the screen. System breach detected. Location traced. His screen turned black. Maria, grab Rafiq, he shouted. Within minutes, they were out the door. Faison knew what this meant. They were getting close. Too close. They drove to Adil's place and set up in his basement. There, Faison wrote a full report, a timeline of crimes, names, secret deals, and cover-ups. He saved it under a code name, the Circle Files. But they couldn't publish it just yet. They needed one final piece, a recorded confession. Mubashir agreed to help. He told them about a private party Rahman was hosting, only for trusted people. Mubashir could get Faison in as a server. It's risky, he warned. But if you get him talking, we can end this. Faison agreed. On the night of the party, Faison wore a waiter's uniform and a hidden mic. Maria and Adil waited in a van outside, listening. Inside the luxury mansion, Rahman laughed and smiled with powerful guests. Faison moved quietly, serving drinks, waiting for a chance. Then he heard it. Rahman, slightly drunk, boasting to a friend. They think it ended with Raza. Fools. The Circle runs deeper than anyone knows. We built this empire, and no one, not even a journalist or a schoolteacher, can break it. Faison moved closer. Rahman continued, laughing. Even if they leak files, who will believe them? We own the headlines. That was it. Faison walked out calmly, heart racing. In the van, Maria played the audio back. Clear, loud, dangerous. They had what they needed. That night, they released the Circle Files to a secret group of honest journalists. Not one, but 12 news stations picked up the story. The public was shocked. Land scam bigger than expected. Another minister named. Secret group called the Circle exposed. Whistleblowers forced nation to look deeper. But it wasn't over. Faison turned to Maria and said, we just pulled the curtain back. She nodded. Now the real war begins. The country was awake. For years, people had lived in silence, accepting corruption like it was normal. But now things were changing. After the Circle Files went viral, every news channel, social media page, and radio station talked about one thing. The secret group of powerful people who controlled the government from behind the curtain. And at the center of it all, Rahman, the man who once smiled on TV, promising a better future. The public was angry. Protests started outside Parliament. People held signs with words like, "Justice for Rafik." "The circle must fall." "No more puppets." Faison, Maria, and Rafik stood in the crowd, watching history unfold. But Faison knew it wasn't over. He turned to Maria. "They'll fight back. People like Rahman, they never go down quietly." He was right. That same night, 3 of the journalists who helped publish the Circle files were arrested. Their homes were raided. A fake story was spread online that Faison and Maria had foreign links and were trying to damage the nation's image. But this time, the people didn't believe it. Videos were posted online showing the truth. Rafik, standing in front of a camera, told the nation, "They tried to kill me and cover it up, but I survived, and I will speak." His voice shook, but his words were strong. It went viral, again. Under pressure, the Prime Minister had no choice. An emergency investigation was announced. Rahman was called in for questioning. But before he could appear, he disappeared. Gone. Vanished. The news spread like fire. Rahman escapes. The circle may still be active. Faison felt the weight return to his chest. Maria whispered, "They're trying to run." But Faison had one final plan. He reached out to an international journalist named Linda Kay, who had helped expose scandals in other countries. She flew in quietly and met the team in a small safe house. Linda studied everything: USB drives, documents, Rahman's voice recording, even old CCTV footage from the night of the hit and run. She said one thing: "This story won't just shake your country, it will shake the world." With her help, the files were sent to international news agencies: CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. The world was watching now, and pressure came from everywhere. World leaders demanded that Rahman be found. Human rights groups got involved. Even financial watchdogs froze accounts connected to Circle members. And then, a miracle. One night, deep in the border region, a tired old man walked into a local police station and whispered, "I know where he is, but I want protection." His name was Javed, a former driver for Rahman. He gave them GPS coordinates, passwords, and photos of a secret safe house near the mountains. Within 48 hours, Rahman was arrested during a quiet midnight raid. The country exploded with joy. Tears ran down Rafik's face when he saw the news. Maria hugged him tightly. Faison looked out the window, silent. But inside, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: peace. A national court case was opened. Thousands tuned in to watch the live trial of the man who once ruled from the shadows. Inside the courtroom, Faison and Maria sat together as witnesses. The judge read out the list of charges: attempted murder, corruption, misuse of public office, involvement in secret criminal group. And then, the courtroom went silent. The judge called Rafik forward. The boy stood bravely, looked Rahman in the eyes, and said, "You tried to silence me, but you only made me louder." People cried in the courtroom. Even the judge took a moment before speaking. After weeks of trial, the verdict was clear: guilty. Rahman and the remaining Circle members were sentenced to life in prison. The streets filled with people dancing, praying, and celebrating. But the true heroes didn't stand on stage. They stood quietly outside. Faison, Maria, Rafik, and even Adil and Mubashir. They didn't want fame. They wanted truth. And they got it. A few months later, Faison published a book titled "The Hit and Run That Hit the Nation." It told everything, from the night Rafik was almost killed to the fall of giants. It became a bestseller. Maria was offered a national award for bravery in education. She accepted it, holding Rafik's hand. And young Rafik, he was offered a scholarship from a top university. He looked at Maria and Faison and said, "I want to study law. I want to fight for people like me." In the end, this was not just the story of a hit and run. It was the story of truth fighting power, of a boy who wouldn't stay silent, of a woman who refused to look away, and of a journalist who didn't stop, even when death knocked at the door. The court doors had closed. Rahman was behind bars. The circle was broken. But for Faizan, Maria, and Rafiq, life was just beginning. Weeks passed. The city that once lived in fear now felt free. Streets were alive with color again. Walls that once had political posters were now covered with artwork and messages of hope. Truth won, one mural said. Another, speak even if your voice shakes. Rafiq walked those streets with his head held high. People recognized him. Some came up just to shake his hand. You're the reason this country changed, one man told him. Rafiq would smile, shyly, and say the same words every time. I just told the truth. But deep inside, he still carried pain. He had nightmares of the car hitting him. He would wake up sweating, hearing the tires screech. One night, he sat with Faizan and asked, will I always feel this way? Faizan looked at him gently and said, pain doesn't leave, but it makes room for strength. And slowly, day by day, Rafiq got stronger. Maria returned to her school. The principal met her at the gate with tears in her eyes. I'm sorry, she said. Maria forgave her. She walked into her old classroom, where children clapped and cheered. But she wasn't there to be celebrated. She was there to teach. She began a new program, Truth in Action, teaching students how to speak up, question power, and protect their rights. Even if you're young, she told them, your voice matters. Faizan went back to journalism, but not in the same way. He didn't chase stories anymore. He trained others. Young journalists from villages and cities came to him to learn how to find the truth, protect sources, and report without fear. One of his first students was Rafiq himself, but not everything healed quickly. Adil, the policeman who had first shut down the case, now sat alone at home. He had lost his job. His brother Mubashir was under investigation. One evening, Faizan went to visit him. Adil opened the door slowly. His face was thin, his eyes tired. I didn't expect you, he said. Faizan didn't smile. I'm not here for revenge, he said. I'm here because you helped, when it mattered. Adil nodded. I made mistakes, he whispered. Faizan simply said, then make them mean something. Help clean what you once made dirty. A few months later, Adil joined a local anti-corruption group. He worked quietly, away from the cameras. He didn't want praise. He wanted peace. Then, something no one expected happened. The president of the country made a national announcement. She was starting a Truth and Recovery Commission. All victims of political violence, cover-ups, and media lies could now come forward. And guess who she invited to be on the first panel? Faizan, Maria, and Rafiq. The country watched, holding its breath, as the three walked into Parliament, not as victims, but as heroes. They sat across from judges, officers, and government leaders. Maria spoke first. This isn't about punishment, she said. It's about repair. Then Rafiq stood up. He looked at the crowd and said, I was just a boy on a bike. I didn't know I was riding into history. The room was silent. Then it erupted into applause. Months later, change became law. A Whistleblower Protection Act was passed. All school children would now be taught civic rights. A new independent media court was set up to protect journalists. And the biggest change, a National Truth Day was announced, held every year on the date of Rafiq's accident. On the first Truth Day, people lit candles in parks, streets, schools, and mosques. Faizan stood before a large crowd. He didn't give a long speech. He simply said, this candle is for all the stories we didn't hear. But today, we promise, we're listening now. Rafiq grew taller, wiser. He entered university, studying law. But he never stopped visiting the old alley where he was hit. One day, he placed a flower there. Maria joined him. "Do you think we did enough?" she asked. Rafik looked at her. "We did what we could. The rest is up to the next voice." Years passed. The book Faison wrote was translated into 12 languages. Rafik's law firm helped protect over 300 whistleblowers. Maria's education program reached 10,000 students. And every year, on Truth Day, the country remembered how one boy, one teacher, and one journalist changed everything. Because in the end, the fight wasn't about power. It was about courage. It wasn't about politics. It was about people. And as the sun rose on a quiet, peaceful city, Faison wrote the final words in his diary. They tried to hide the truth in the dark. But the light found a way in. And from that light, a new dawn was born.